Have you ever wondered what happens when you put your car in drive? How it can drive without needing to shift? How it's much easier to drive than a manual, no clutch, no gears to shift through. While it might be more simple to drive an automatic, it is certainly a much more complex design than a manual transmission. Automatic transmissions are extremely complicated and are an absolute engineering marvel. The first automatic transmission was invented in 1921, and it has only improved leaps and bounds in the 100 years it's had to develop. Now, the first major component to an automatic transmission is a planetary gear. A planetary gear is a complex set of gears that allow multiple different gear ratios to be achieved with only a couple gears used. Now, this is very important to an automatic transmission because it means it doesn't require to have each individual gear like a manual transmission does. It allows it to be much more complex and lighter. The next piece that works in an automatic transmission is the pump. Now, this pump is an offset gear that spins inside of a inverse gear. And what it does is it pressurizes the automatic transmission fluid by creating an area of low pressure and pushing it through the passageways. Now, the pump is important because it pressurizes the fluid, and this pressurized fluid is then sent to a valve body. Now, the valve body is an extremely complex looking thing. It looks very much like a maze, and it pretty much is a big valve that decides where this pressurized fluid is going to go. So when this pressurized fluid reaches the valve body, with the help of a computer, the valve body decides where to send this pressurized fluid and what to do with it. So then the pressurized fluid is then sent to a pack of clutches. Now, a clutch pack is a metal ring and then a ring of clutch material, and they alternate. And when the pressurized fluid is sent to these, it creates a back pressure on these sets of clutches, pushing them together. And these clutches are generally attached to different gears in the planetary gear. And when these clutches are pushed against, they lock into place, engaging one of the gears. And when that gear is engaged, it allows the input shaft to spin the output shaft at whatever ratio those clutches are connected to for the gears. So this is pretty much basically how an automatic transmission works, through a complex computer and valve that understands when to shift and how to shift, and the use of a planetary gear. And this planetary gears allows those different ratios to be achieved. All these different parts and pieces have to work together and move together in order to get your car down the road. And it's very complex and a lot of room for error, or very little room for error. So next time you're driving down the road, think about how marvelous all this engineering is when you put your car in drive and it just works.